to the 1,000 unique download stream of the podcast. I hope to have some guests show up today, but if they don't, that's fine. Do have a few things I want to go over for today, like of course our numbers to prove that we are actually at the 1,000 mark. And I want to share with you at least a top 10 list and some stories that will probably otherwise not be told. I was going to say it for the end of the season, but I'll go and tell them now to fill up the balance of our time. So presently we are at 1,063 unique downloads for the podcast. Our most downloaded episodes, top 10. Number 1 is the Ghost Stories episode with 115 unique downloads. Number 2, Pat Lamb with 73. Number 3, Adam McKeith with 47. Number 4, Thoughts on Being Ex-Mormon at 40. Number 5 is Luke and Dan, Lucas Stone King and Daniel Rains. They're at something like 36. Actually, it's 37. Next would be 36 downloads for both Mark Parton and Matt Sewell. Then at 35 downloads is Trevor Martin. At 32 is Conrado. And at 31 is Adam Sadiq. In terms of who's downloading our episodes, without question, our biggest country is our home country, United States of America. And I'll get to the city breakdown in just a bit. Well, we also have significant downloads from France, the UK, specifically the West Midlands, Germany, especially the North Rhine-Westphalia area, and 2 each from Canada and Japan. The 2 Canadian downloads were both British Columbia, so I'm guessing we have someone who downloaded a couple of episodes from Vancouver, and the 2 Tokyo download. Okay, I messed that up. The Japan downloads were from Tokyo.
Medium skip cappuccino.
As for our U.S. numbers, our best performing cities. He uses the dreaded M word here, but cities nonetheless. Number 1, our hometown, Kansas City, 282. Number 2, the San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you for listening. Number 3, Washington, D.C. Thank you guys for listening. Number 4, Dallas, Fort Worth. Number 5, Los Angeles. Number 6, Chicago. Tied for 7th, St. Louis and Houston. Number 9, Salt Lake City. And number 10, Minneapolis and St. Paul. So thank you. We'll do another one of these at 2,000. Keep up the patronage. So next I want to share with you a top 10 list. Top 10 football clubs. And by football I mean soccer. By clubs I do not mean franchises. So there will be no MLS sides on this. Or Joke League for that matter. And limiting it to professional clubs. However, if I were to include amateur clubs, number 1 on the list would be Santa Fe Wanderers, no question about it. But I'm limiting this to professional clubs. So here we go. Number 1 is the mantle holder of independent soccer in the United States. A title that has been abdicated by Miami FC because they decided to join the Joke League. And no disrespect to Detroit City or Chattanooga FC, but these guys have been around a lot longer. Of course, I'm the New York Cosmos. Number 2, staying with the old NASL, is a Canadian side, FC Edmonton. Number 3, the pride of North London. And no, I'm not talking about the shit half of North London. What do you think of Tottenham? I am talking, of course, about Arsenal Football Club. Yes, I am very well aware that they are owned by Senior Stan. The same Senior Stan who told me and the entire city, no, we don't want to be in St. Louis anymore, so we're just going to lie our way out. Yeah, that's Senior Stan. My understanding is he is even less loved by Arsenal fans. So there you go. Go Gooners. Number 4, our biggest numbers in the UK come from the West Midlands, so Birmingham area. And this club is the pride of the West Midlands. Aston Villa Football Club. I'm very much a proud supporter of the Villa. One-time winners of the European Cup in 1982. And back in the Premier League this year. Up the Villa. Number 5 on my list, I really like the name, and I know they have a lot of history to them too. That, of course, would be Sheffield Wednesday FC. Hope they get to the Premier League soon. Number 6 on my list, because I do not want to get Bulgarian hate mail, like ever, even though some of it is funny as hell. Gotta include the top Bulgarian side on this list, and of course that'd be Ludogorets Razgrad. Number 7, I recognize that our dumbass president is being impeached for trying to extort money out of this country, but they're one of the best sides in Ukraine and have a really cool name as well. That'd be Shakhtar Donetsk. If there are any Ukrainian speakers out there, please tell me how I did with the pronunciation. Number 8, we're going back to England for a second, and back to South London this time. AFC Wimbledon. And I really love the story behind them, that they were the fans of Wimbledon FC, and kind of similar to the Cleveland Browns situation here in the U.S. Except this time it's the fans that said, "No, let's start our own club." And number 9, recognizing that our best Japan numbers come from Tokyo. This is not a Tokyo club, but still a Japanese club, and I really like the name. Consadole Sapporo. And number 10, in recognition of the fact we have fans in North Rhine-Westphalia, I could go on with the clubs that come from there, mostly like Dortmund, Mönchengladbach, Bayer Leverkusen, Cologne. But I'm going to go with Schalke there. Mostly because my brother's really into League of Legends, and Schalke field a team in League of Legends. I'm not very optimistic about people showing up today, so I continue, and I will go and tell you some stories that would otherwise not make the podcasts. Similar how I ended season 1. I was going to wait for the end of season 2, but going to take the opportunity now to tell you these stories. The first few are going to be Boy Scouts stories, and then the others, not so much, probably going to lean towards college at that point. Here we go. Number 1 is the rifle range incident. So my second year as a Boy Scouts, going to summer camp, I took the rifle shooting merit badge, which required us to, as the name would suggest, go out and shoot rifles. We shot on 22 calibers, and I had a terrible aim. I think I still have a terrible aim to this day. But one day I was at the range shooting, and then one shot later, and the clothesline that had everyone's paper targets on it fell. And so we had to stop shooting so that the rifle range staff could take a look and see what happened. Well, it turns out the bullets that knocked that clothesline over came from my gun. Again, I'm a terrible aim. And so they fix it up, and then after we're done shooting, he shows me, the range master shows me where that shot had landed, and I just nicked the edge of the paper target. So that was fun. And then my dad finds out about it when he comes to the camp after spending the previous few days at Weeblos camp with my brother. So that's fun. I thought I'd include it in this podcast. Number 2 is the bike incident. This is when I was just starting in Boy Scouts. If you ever see me in person, I have a scar right there on my upper lip, and that's because of this accident. We were going biking, and I had a fanny pack that was coming off and was uncomfortable, so I strapped it to the frame of my bicycle. Turns out this was a bad idea, because the fanny pack got caught in the bike chain, causing the bike to flip 360 degrees, flying me forward. I hit concrete. My face is all scratched up, especially right there. And I was wearing braces at the time. And the bottom braces get knocked out of place and cut me up pretty badly. And one of the teeth wound up having to be capped. I am lucky that I was wearing a helmet. Otherwise, I would probably not be sitting here right now. Number 3, first year of Boy Scouts camp. A couple of semi-related stories involving plastic toys. One was I wouldn't tell you something. One was a plastic pink flamingo. We called him Pink Floyd. Apparently, some of the older scouts decided to assault a younger scout with it, and then blamed it on this pink flamingo. And as a result, they took the tryouts to the rifle range and firing squad. And we had a funeral, and I followed that up with a trial, which I was on the losing end of. And there was pretty bizarre punishments as a result of being on the losing side, which I will not go into. But there's an interesting side story where same older scouts decided, oh, let's steal this mannequin in the mess hall called Elmo. So they steal him, he goes missing for a couple days, and then on the last full day of camp, they do a procession with Elmo, the older scouts I'm talking about. And they do their best Monty Python and the Holy Grail monk impressions of Piena su Domine, Dona eis requiem. And they smack themselves in the head with something. They come up and confess, yeah, we're the guys that stole Elmo. And they said, well, I understand that there's a adult leader that had something to do with this. Turned out it was my dad. And as punishment, they all had to do mess hall duty, so clean up after the staff. Number 4 is the story of the Children of the Circle. One of the traditions of my old scout troop was we did a turkey camp out every November. So basically a Thanksgiving meal involves that the dads would make for us. So anyway, this particular year they didn't have the circle pie tins to make pumpkin pies. In which case, you gotta improvise, right? And how they improvise by making square pumpkin pies, or rectangular pumpkin pies, I should say. Which is fine for me. A, I don't like pumpkin pie all that much, and B, pie are square. Come on. Some of the scouts, my brother being one of them, decided to do a little protest. Cut out little circles and called themselves the Children of the Circle with the chant, round them edges, round them edges. That's all I remember about that situation. Number 5, the camper buying merit badge. This merit badge does not exist, but when you're at summer camp, the train post staff decided to pull a prank on people, and I was gullible enough to fall for it. It just involves it's just basically a scavenger hunt type thing, including finding bottle caps for checkered paint, which of course does not exist, and feel like a fool for doing that in retrospect. So that's all the Boy Scout related stuff for now. And as Chris Berman once said in Canton, Ohio, 1999, this is the Cleveland Browns portion of our show. In 1999, yeah, I did go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony because Eric Dickerson was being inducted that year.
Just kind of zipped by me. I guess you thought we started already. There's a couple of minutes. Yeah.
And I'll wait until they stop. I think it's going to get a little too loud here, so I'll cut off the listen now. But needless to say, I got more stories to tell you. I probably will save that for the end of the season. So, and I got to cut off things now. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.